George Groves has signed up for the World Boxing Super Series. This is a tournament which is being organized by Richard Schaefer, I believe. I'll leave a link in the description below to the article where I'm getting this information from. A tournament being organized, at least partly, by Richard Schaefer, similar to the Super 6. But rather than having 6 fighters, this tournament has 8 fighters in it. There will be a super middleweight version of the tournament, and there'll also be a cruiserweight version of the tournament. I'm pleasantly surprised that George Groves has signed up for this, because normally when a fighter wins a world title, particularly for the first time, they want a few easy defenses. They don't plunge themselves head first into tough competition. But that's exactly what George Groves has potentially done here. I mean, you look at the Super 6, the caliber of fighters that were in that tournament, there were no easy fights for the most part. And if they manage to get that caliber of fighters, to fight in this tournament, this World Boxing Super Series, then it's going to be the same. So yeah, very, very interesting and a pleasant surprise that George Groves has done this. Not to say George Groves has been somebody that shies away from tough competition. He never has. I mean, this guy's already fought James DeGale and Carl Froch. So, he's a real fighting man, George Groves. I'm going to quote him directly here. He says, "I am proud to bring my WBA super middleweight title to the tournament. I want to continue to test myself against the best, and I am ready and willing to fight anyone. It will be exciting to see who else has the courage to enter such a brutal competition. The World Boxing Super Series is exactly what fighters and fans need, a simple and straightforward way to determine the best fighter in a division. I am really keen to be the first super middleweight to lift the Muhammad Ali trophy." So those are the words of George Groves. And just a bit more information here. I'm going to quote from this article directly. It says, "In the inaugural season of the World Boxing Super Series, 16 elite fighters, 8 super middleweights and 8 cruiserweights will battle out a bracket-style elimination tournament. In both divisions, there will be 4 quarterfinals in September and October 2017, 2 semifinals in early 2018, and 1 final in May 2018, making for a total of 14 high-class fights. The exact pairings will be determined during a draft gala in Monaco in early July. In each weight class, the top seeded boxers, which will be determined by the board, will select their quarterfinal opponents from unseeded boxers. Once the pairings are set, the exact fight dates and venues will be announced. Further participants as well as details about the draft gala will be revealed shortly." So that was quoting directly from the article, which again I've linked to in the description below. One of the things that the Super 6 was criticized for was that it took too long to complete, that the fights were spread over too long a time period, whereas this tournament right here is highly condensed. I mean, it's basically all going to take place in under a year. That's why George Groves has referred to it as brutal, because we're in May 2017 and the final of this tournament is set to take place in May 2018. Sorry, we're in June 2017. The final of this tournament is set to take place in May 2018. And the first fight is not going to take place until September. So in a few short months, they're going to have all these fights, like 14 fights in 2 divisions. So that's 7 fights per division. That's quite some going. So yeah, very, very interesting. And I hope this comes off. I hope other high-level fighters enter this tournament. The likes of James DeGale, maybe Chris Eubank Jr. Although I'm not sure about Chris Eubank Jr. I'm not sure that they would enter this. The Eubanks like to have control over their own destiny. And when you put yourself in a tournament, it kind of takes the control away from you. So I'm not sure whether they go for it. Maybe they would. I'm really not sure. It depends on their options, I guess. One thing that it would do for them is it would guarantee them top level opposition if that's what they want. Entering a tournament like this guarantees you it. As long as you can beat whoever you're put in there with, you'll progress and you'll fight normally progressively better fighters. So we'll see who else signs up. Hopefully DeGale, the winner of Smith versus Dirrell, maybe. We'll see. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about this particular story. Do you know of any other super middleweight signing up for it? Let me know. It's happening. I'm out.